All right, so now let's talk about how I started my business with no risk. So the first thing I did was I made a spreadsheet of my costs, and there's different costs. So I made a spreadsheet that had all my one-time costs, monthly costs, yearly costs, and I put them into I made like January, January through December, and then I listed all the costs. And if it was a recurring cost, then I'd put it in every bracket and that kind of thing. And then I would add them up for the months, and that way I could kind of see what I needed there. And then I also put my one-time costs, whether they're upfront or they come later. And obviously there was costs that I didn't know to put in there, but you won't know that stuff until you build it out and kind of figure it out. So make your spreadsheet of your costs. Number two, I planned out because I know how to sell, and that's my primary thing. I planned out how many I was going to sell. I have enough experience selling pest control that I know how many I'll sell in April, May, June, July, August, and even September. And so I just put it in a plan and said, this is what I'm going to do. And that also told me kind of what my where I meet with my costs to break even. So the other thing to know, number three, is how many accounts can you put on one route? Where do you cap out at? Because you have growing pains and an increase of cost when you hit that point. And so, knowing where you max out and then have to buy another truck, put another rig in it, buy more shirts, hire another guy and increase your expenses just to add that next route goes up. So that's the next thing. Number four, how long will you do the route before you turn it over to someone else and actually put a technician in place? So for me, I started like at the very end of March. In fact, I'll show you something. So I started, take that off. This is my sales documentary here. I started in March and I only wanted to put in 8 accounts, so I just sold 8 accounts. In April, I sold 34 accounts. I wanted to sell 35, so I'm pretty well on target. And then May, I planned on only selling like 70, and I sold 73. So I just, I knew what I planned on selling. This is my whole, 90 in June, 84 in July, August, and then I tapered off at the end of summertime. So knowing what you're going to sell and having a plan for that really helps you with the money side of it, so that you know what you're going to be doing and what it's going to take. So the next thing is, so I turned over the route when I had hit the end of April, because I knew that I'm more valuable selling than I am servicing, and it takes too long to service those accounts and it takes me off the doors. So I needed to hire a guy, but I wanted to at least have something for him to do while he's waiting for me to make my sales. So I started off selling. I got enough going for him to do something while I'm making sales, and then he took over from there. Let's see, number 5. Oh yeah. Do you want to be owner-operator or self-employed, or do you want to be a business owner? We talked about that in the last video, but owner-operator, you're limited to how much you can do. Your route kind of fills up, and then that's it. You're done. You can't take on any more customers. So I wanted to hand that off so that I can have an unlimited amount of customers. When I fill up, I just add another route. So, number 6, I would advise that if you have money to invest, then you can start the business outright. If you don't have a lot of money to invest or live off of while you are building the business, then get started early. Don't quit your day job. Go get your business started on nights and weekends until you have enough money coming in to take over the income that you're getting right now. For me, I was a summer warrior. I would go out every summer and dedicate my whole summer to just selling pest control or alarm systems, and I would make enough money during the summer to last me the rest of the year. So I had some money saved, and I just basically took some of that money. I didn't have a lot because I was starting in March, and my money that I would make during the summer only lasts usually until end of April. So we really had to save and like live frugally. And so I had enough money to invest in the business and live off of while I built it. So I actually started out with 10 grand, which in this business isn't very much. But I bought my truck. I put a rig in the truck. I bought shirts, the vinyl that goes on the truck for my ad on my door. Had to get chemicals, buy the insurance, licensing, get licensed, my sales materials, like that kind of stuff. You can start with less if you already have a truck and you just want to use that truck and you just put vinyl on it. But I had actually we sold my wife's Expedition, and we used that money to buy a truck, and then the rest of the money we put into the other expenses that were part of the 10 grand. So we had another car so that she could drive that, but yeah, we just kind of switched things around, and I drove that truck until I hired my technician and I gave the truck to him. And then, kind of funny story, I actually drove a four-wheeler for 3 months to each neighborhood. It was street legal, so I just like drove my four-wheeler to neighborhoods, parked it, and we'll go knock doors in that neighborhood because I didn't have enough money to buy another vehicle yet. When I got enough money, then I bought another truck because that would be my truck for my second guy, and I'm still driving that. So that's how I started my business with no risk. Is I made a spreadsheet and I looked at the costs and I said, okay, these costs are going to be, for the most part, the monthly costs are going to stay the same. Some of them are going to build, like my chemical costs and things like that, as I grow, but the money will also grow. So how many sales do I need to cut off some of those initial expenses? And so like one of them was like I have to pay my qualifying party, like the head honcho that I have to hire to like inspect my business. I have to pay her a certain amount of money, and that's why I went and sold in March. And I said I'm only selling in March to pay for her. That's an expense that I didn't like, and so I said I'm getting that one out of the way first, so I never have to think of it again. And so I got enough customers that the profits from that pay for her, and I'm done with that one. So think of it also in terms of that. How many customers do I need to get? What kind of money do I need to be earning to pay for the expenses of the business? Then, how much money do I need to be earning? How many accounts will it take to pay for my expenses personally with my home and my family? And then from there, how much more money do I need to make so that I can plan for next year or my next growth phase and invest it? And so I don't feel like there was any risk starting my business because I already knew what it looked like on paper, and I know what I'm capable of for sales. So I can go out and sell that many accounts, and I know exactly how much money it'll bring in. I know where my costs are, and I said, babe, we are spending no money until July. I take nothing out of the business until July because everything's got to go back in until, actually we're going to drain our bank accounts until we hit July, and July will make enough to pay our bills for the first time, which coincidentally was we ran out of money in June. At the end of June, when we had paid our bills, we were like, we cut it so close. We were down in like the $10 in the account. And in July, we paid all of our bills from the business, and we were like, sweet, we're doing it. And then the next month, we made more money than just our bills. And the next month after that, we made even more money than just our bills. And that's when I bought the truck, so I could have a second truck for the business. But anyway, that's how you start a business with no risk, is you evaluate it and you look at it in that way, and you see where you're at, and you make adjustments if you have to. If you have to use your own truck at first, if you already have one, if you have to keep your day job a little longer until you've built it up that high, really when you step over, there's no risk. So I hope that helps you. I hope you learned from what I did, and subscribe, keep watching, leave me comments. Tell me if there's things that you want to hear about the things that I'm going through with business, any struggles, anything specific. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll make sure to make a video about it. Thanks.